and good morning. You see, the UJ way is, if we know where we come from, it's far easier to understand where we are going to. That's how it works. Honored ladies and gentlemen, it is an absolute pleasure to also welcome you here at the 5th Annual Soweto Conference on Entrepreneurship and Small Business Development, hosted by Moiponi and a team from the Center of Small Business Development in UJ's Faculty of Management. And then I'd like to extend a very special word of welcome this morning. We are about to receive our guest of honor here, Dr. Richard Moiponi, respected South African entrepreneur and alumnus of the UJ Faculty of Management. You'll remember that he received an honorary doctorate from the UJ Faculty of Management in 2010, hence Dr. Richard Moiponi. And then our precious sponsors. Feliswe, it's wonderful to receive you again this morning, CEO of the Gauteng Enterprise Repeller and also our main sponsor for the event. Thank you very much. I've heard this morning that you are piggybacking on the university, and may I ask that the university maybe continue to piggybacking on you as well. So that would be wonderful. And then our academic guest of honor this morning, Professor David Smallbone. He's a professor of small business and entrepreneurship at Kingston University in the UK, and he is a globally distinguished professor. We have briefly met this morning, and Professor, I think we will probably continue for 3 hours without end just exploring what we are passionate about, moving from one topic to the other. It's wonderful, sir, to have you with us. And then all the ladies and gentlemen here this morning who represent small businesses, academics, entrepreneurs, teachers from other universities, politicians, embassy staff, international organizations, all involved in economic development, and especially the financiers of entrepreneurs. So you see, there's no doubt about the importance of entrepreneurship as a long-term solution to tackling South Africa's unemployment crisis. And I think that was at the essence of the serious argument this morning. So you see, the empowerment of especially young people is not an option, it is a national imperative. That's it. So in doing so, in emphasizing this point, I'd rather tell you a story than to make a long speech. It's a story about a young man and a young woman who were walking along the beach. And after a while, they saw some caves there in the horizon, and they went closer and they started to explore these caves. And inside one of these caves, they found an old weathered leather bag full of clay balls. And these clay balls didn't look like much. It looked as though they were rolled with a hand and left in the sun to dry. Well, they took the bag with them, and as they walked along the beach, they started to throw these clay balls into the sea. And when they threw about 50 or 60 of these clay balls into the ocean, when one of these clay balls fell on the rocks and it cracked open. And inside, Mama, was a diamond this size. I see Mama Ellen Corsi's eyes are getting really big for this one. So, and then they realized, and they thought to themselves, but isn't there something else in some of the other clay balls? And they broke some of them open as well. And inside each of these clay balls was a diamond this size. And Dina then struck them. They've actually thrown about 50 or 60 of these clay balls into the ocean without knowing what they are doing. And the moral of the story is that we don't always realize what is inside us unless we look inside. And you know, an entrepreneur has a very special soul, a very special being. And for me, there are 4 things that really stand out. And the first one is to always work from what you're good at. Don't try to be somebody else, it doesn't work in the long run. Work from what you are truly good at, and that is how you position yourself in the market. Don't try to be a corporate, because then you have to compete with corporates. Be who you are and read what the market wants. So, market savvy. Also, what is important is financial savvy, because if you don't know how much something costs to make and to produce, you would not know how much to sell it for, and you would not know how to compete. So this is being able to work with that calculator, do the basic things. And you know what is the most important thing, and this is what I believe, is the ability to just bounce back when everything goes dead wrong. Now, I taught for a number of years in the Free State, and the one thing that my students taught me there is sebedisa floho. Yeah. So you see, Mama, if you go ho khathetsi, nothing happens. Sebedisa floho. Heads you win, tails you lose. Okay, you get the message. But you see, it seems to me as though we all know what entrepreneurship is about, but very few people actually know how to get it done. And this seems to me as though the silent corner, the one thing we can't get right, is for an entrepreneur to be able to scale up and to be really competitive. That is where the crux of the issue lies, the way that I see it. Now, why do I say that? One of my favorite documents or reports that I follow is the Global Entrepreneurship Monitor, which reports that South Africa has got the lowest level of early stage entrepreneurial activity. And when you drill into the data and reports, it says that people are so scared that they might lose everything that they'd rather not participate or try to be entrepreneurs. But now when you also look at what's happening in the rest of the world and what works, is that we know that if you are educated, then you fear less and it's much easier to move forward. Knowing helps you to overcome fear. And that is why education and training remains vitally important. Especially the training part, because if somebody shows you how to do it, and you can think for yourself and make it your own special recipe, it becomes the truth. So the university and the Faculty of Management invests hugely in entrepreneurship development. As you know, we have about 10,000 full-time students in our faculty, and a further 6,000 students in companies right across the continent. And entrepreneurship is embedded in everything. And then we also contribute as a faculty in the order of about 8 million rand a year towards entrepreneurship development through our Center for Small Business Development and our Center for Social Entrepreneurship and the Social Economy. Now, what's happening at UJ level? The interesting thing is that your university is currently being ranked among the top 4% of universities in the world. Now, this year, when you look at the global ranking systems, approximately 18,000 universities competed worldwide. UJ, your university, came out under the top 600 universities in the world. So that is where you are today. Now, how can we make a difference in terms of the future? Now, we decided that we'd like to make a contribution towards our country, but especially our continent. Because Africa has always been seen as a resource for other resource-hungry continents. And it's time that we take the ball in our own hands and rather play than just being the ball. And where does it start? Not necessarily with the big corporates. It starts with small-scale businesses growing over time. So we are definitely asking ourselves a lot of very taxing questions in order to move forward. And this is why this conference excites me. Because when you look at the range of expertise that will be shared in the course of this day, there's great learning to be taken from this. And as a faculty and as a university, we take this very seriously. Because our responsibility are the graduates walking the stage in the course of this year. Now think about it this way. UJ graduates 11,300 graduates every year. 60% of these students are first generation students. Their mums and their dads have never had the opportunity to study. Imagine what difference this will make in terms of the future of this country and this continent. Our Vice Chancellor, Professor Rensburg, always says UJ is making tectonic changes in the social landscape of our country. And I do agree with that. So I'd like to conclude. Mama Ellen, I think this was long enough, isn't that so? Okay. So I'd like to wish you a very productive conference. And I have two wishes for you in the course of this conference. The one is that you'll get one thing. There's the son of South Africa. There we go. Dr. Maponya, it's good to see you again. Besides an entrepreneur, he's a real old school gentleman. Isn't that so? And he may be slightly wiser nowadays, but man, he's got an eye for business. But anyway, let me not get there, we'll get there later. My wish for you for this conference is twofold. The first wish is that you'll get something out of this conference that you can really add to your life and say, this will always serve me well. And on the other side, my second wish is that you'll find something here that you have what you will stop doing that stands in your way. And with these two wishes, I'd like to say, welcome here. It's wonderful to have you with us, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful time. Thank you very much.